Welcome to PeriMed's instructional video featuring the PeriFlux 6000 combined system. In this video, we will go through an examination of toe and ankle pressure and transcutaneous oxygen assessments. In the generated report, we can see absolute pressures, indexes, and TCPO2 values. The dedicated examination manager software guides the clinical user through the examination. In the examination setup, the measurement sites are decided by the clinician. The clinical protocol is selected from a list of available examinations. The patient's medical background is filled in. The clinical information is customized according to the hospital's requirement and can be more or less extensive. Attach pressure cuffs on the arms. The patient should be placed in supine position. Prior to the examination, the patient should avoid drinking caffeine-containing drinks and avoid smoking. It is recommended that the patient rests for 5 to 30 minutes before the test. If the patient has a contraindication assessing brachial pressure from one of the arms, simply select the other arm. Attach pressure cuffs on the ankles, slightly above the malleole. Make sure that the heels of the patients are resting on the bed. Preferably the patient should wear loosely fitted clothes. The choice of pressure cuff size is dependent on the size of the limb. Ideally, a pressure cuff should be 20% wider than the limb. Attach small pressure cuffs on the base of the toes. Typically, digit 1 is used for toe brachial index. If this toe is amputated or wounds are present, select another digit more suitable for pressure assessment. Avoid applying pressure cuffs directly on wounded areas or where the cuff could come in direct contact with wound liquid. Put double-sided adhesive tape on the fingers of the patient. If the patient has essential tremor, avoid the fingertips. Instead, apply the tape to the dorsum of the hand or lower arm. Make sure that the patient can rest the arm in a comfortable position throughout the examination. Apply the laser Doppler probe onto the tape and press slightly. If necessary, secure the laser Doppler cable with extra tape. Put double-sided adhesive tape to the same toe as the pressure cuff. Apply the laser Doppler probe and press slightly. Fingers and toes are often cold and affected by local vasoconstriction. PeriMed's laser Doppler probes are thermostatic and provides a local heating of 40 degrees Celsius, thereby often the need to pre-warm the patient's feet and fingers in water or by warm air to raise the skin temperature is unnecessary. The pressure cuffs are connected with the corresponding pressure tubes. Pressure cuffs and pressure tubes are color-coded for easy connection, ensuring correct assembly. Gray colored pressure tubes are connected to the left-hand side pressure cuffs. White colored pressure tubes are connected to the pressure cuffs on the right-hand side. Transcutaneous oxygen assessment is made to evaluate wound healing potential and can be used for amputation level determination. Before applying the fixation ring, make sure that the skin is blotted and clean. After blotting the skin with tape, clean with an alcohol wipe to remove sebum and lotions. To mitigate the risk of leakage, firmly press down the rim of the fixation ring. Pay extra attention to curvature in the anatomy, as these regions are more likely to cause leakage. Apply 3 to 5 drops of contact liquid in the chamber of the fixation ring. The liquid, together with the heat from the TCPO2 electrode, helps to dissolve the lipid structures of the skin, providing increased permeability to the skin and facilitating the assessment of TCPO2. Secure the TCPO2 electrodes into position in the fixation rings. The Clark electrode used for TCPO2 assessment is calibrated against the partial oxygen pressure in the air. Throughout the measurement, the TCPO2 curve can be followed in the Examination Manager software. Lock the position of the electrodes using tape. These preparations will lower the risk of air leakage during the measurement. Pressure is applied to the brachial pressure cuffs either with a mouse click or using the foot switch. The perfusion signal from the laser Doppler probes is movement sensitive, and it's important to keep the patient as still as possible. Default inflation pressure is 200 mm of mercury, but this can easily be adjusted when needed. The PeriFlux 6000 system has an inbuilt pump, providing pressure to up to 6 pressure tubes in the system. The pressure is linearly deflated. And the perfusion is returning. This is indicated with a flag at the point of return. The arm with the highest brachial pressure is used for the index calculation of ABI and TBI. The probe is positioned on the finger of the reference arm, and laser Doppler probes are applied to the toes of the patient. Maintain the patient in flat, stable conditions throughout the examination. The arm pressure cuff is inflated in parallel with the pressure cuffs on both ankles. The effect of the thermostatic laser Doppler probe will increase the blood perfusion, facilitating the examination and standardize the temperature at which the assessment is performed at. As the pressure is linearly deflating, the sensitive laser Doppler probes are measuring the perfusion, and pressure flags are marking the pressure point of return. These flags might need to be adjusted as movement artifacts could affect the positioning. The measurement is repeated. Accepted values shouldn't differ significantly, and repetitions affected by movement artifacts should be excluded. The arm pressure cuff is inflated in parallel with the pressure cuffs on both toes. Pressure flags are marking the pressure point of return. PVR, pulse volume recording, can be added to the examination. In this measurement, the ankle pressure cuffs are inflated to a pressure of 60 mm mercury, hereby stopping the venous return flow, but allowing arterial blood flow. The generated curve is used to study the stiffness of the vessels on ankle level. In the clinic, the results from PVR are often used together with ankle pressures to evaluate the presence and degree of medial sclerosis. The TCPO2 values are recorded in parallel with the assessment of toe and ankle pressures. This reduces the overall measurement time. TCPO2 baseline is recorded and the evaluation region is placed. The baseline values should be stable and might need to be adjusted into a more stable part of the curve. We can see a leakage of air into the fixation ring in the lower curve to the right. The value is quickly increasing as a consequence of air leaking into the fixation ring. A leakage during the examination can be fixed by applying extra tape around the fixation ring. You might also need to add extra contact liquid into the ring if the previously added liquid has leaked. TCPO2 assessment can be extended to also include provocations such as leg elevation, leg lowering, and oxygen inhalation. For patients showing normal values, most often only baseline assessment is performed. The positioning of the TCPO2 electrodes are documented taking a photo of the patient's feet. This photo is added into the final report. Enable editing and browse to the camera where the photo is selected. Positions of the TCPO2 electrodes are aligned with the documentation photo. The final report shows absolute pressure values, indexes, reference values, and results from PVR and TCPO2.